Hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be featuring some of our newest Simon Says stamp products and some fun Distress Oxide stamping and watercoloring for this really awesome background. Distress Oxides are such a unique medium for watercoloring because they give you such vibrant colors and they blend together really beautifully. This particular technique works so well with this beautiful round and round background stamp from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to be first creating a mask for the sentiment that's going to be in the center of my card. So I've chosen this die. This is a Simon Says Stamp nested circle die, and I'm going to cut it from some Gina K Designs masking magic paper. I really have been loving this masking magic paper because how easy it is to use. It's also really good at being able to be reused, so you don't have to change your masks very frequently, and it holds down really well. You're going to see this as I work with this mask. I'm going to be even doing some watercoloring with this. So not just stamping, but even techniques such as watercoloring, the mask does not bleed. Now right now you're seeing me put a rainbow of color across this background stamp using oxide ink. So I'm layering them as I go along, kind of trying to overlap just a little bit as I add the ink down onto the stamp. Now if you have any ink from another color transfer onto the ink pad, just take a little paper towel and wipe off that excess ink. It's not going to hurt your stamp too much if you get just a small contamination of ink like this. I misted the ink just to get it reactivating and stamping really nice to get a really cool blend of color like this across my watercolor paper. I'm going to let this dry for a minute while I go ahead and add some Distress Oxide colors onto a palette. This palette is going to allow me to pick up the colors and watercolor into the different circles on this round and round background. Now I really loved how not only these oxide inks blend together, but how this looks. As I'm coloring, you'll notice that I'm working with similar colors in the areas that are already stamped in those colors. So for instance, in this purple area, I'm adding purple color, and I'm also going to be adding some peacock feathers. Those colors are going to blend together and create a really nice, beautiful look. And because we're doing this watercoloring with those same colors, this is giving us almost like a no line type of coloring because we're using similar colors that we've already stamped with in those exact same areas. But the great thing is that this is so much easier to see versus traditional no line coloring, which uses a very light ink. Now you'll notice I'm coming right up to the edge of that mask that I created. You can barely see it there in the center, but that mask is holding back those colors and it's not bleeding through, and it's also keeping a really nice crisp edge for me. Now if you were to use a ton of water on this background, you would definitely probably have a little bit of seeping, but for just some light coloring like this, it's really not going to bleed at all, and it gives you a really nice crisp edge. Now you'll see I took the mask off at this point just because I wanted to see how things were looking, and I really love the look of how that crisp outline looks so beautiful against all these other circles. You'll even notice that I'm going back over some of these circles just to get a better transition of color in some cases. I wanted things to have some really vibrant colors, so in places where maybe the color dried back a little too much and went too light, I went back in with a bit more darker and intenser color. But throughout all the watercoloring, I used the exact same inks that I stamped with. I did not add any other inks. Once my background is completely colored, you can see how this fun assortment of colors looks so awesome against this beautiful masking where we're going to be stamping this sentiment from the Say It All Friend stamp set. This is another new set from Simon. This really cool abstract is going to look great with the crisp black stamping that I'm going to be doing here. I used intense black ink, but because I'm stamping on watercolor paper, it's a little bit harder to get a really nice crisp impression. So I'm going to have to go over this about 3 times until I get a really nice crisp greeting. Once my stamping is finished, I'll bring in a black marker because you'll notice I have the T kind of overlapping into the coloring, and I wanted the rest of the sentiment to kind of do the same thing. So using a black outline pen, I'm just going to extend the ends of the word you and also the G on the end of thinking, just to kind of balance things out a little bit more. because I was trying to get the sentiment right perfectly in the center, the T kind of overlapped. So this is why I'm going ahead and doing the same thing to the U. With some acrylic white paint, I'm going to put that onto my palette and just spritz a little water into it to get it moving and a little bit more fluid. That's because I want to create some white splatters on this background just to give it a little bit more interest and texture. So I will take my paintbrush and just flick on some droplets, getting a really nice splatter across this background. And then once I've splattered this, I'm going to let it dry so that way I don't smear any of those fun little white paint drops. I kept this card super simple because this background is just so awesome. I decided to just add a secondary sentiment using that same Say It All Friends set, and I just stamped that with some embossing ink and heat set that onto some guava cardstock from Lawn Fawn. For a little bit more embellishing, I added a few clear sequins here. And then that's going to pretty much do it. It sits on an ivory cardstock card base from Simon Says Stamp. And then this background just takes center stage across this entire card. And I hope that it has inspired you to try out this awesome Distress Oxide stamping and watercoloring technique where you use the oxide inks to create some awesome stamping and then go back over those same areas that you stamped in with similar colors of oxide ink. Thanks so much for tuning in today and spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed and will come back soon for more inspiration. Thanks for watching.